Do you think experience in the business of schools is important for a board member to have? Describe yours, please.
Okay, well, for those of you that may not know, I don't have an education background. I have a business background. And to answer the question, no, I don't think it's necessary to be an educator, to be on the school board, if that's exactly what the question was asking. I don't think it's necessary for someone to be in education to be on the school board. But I do think it's important that we have a variety of people on the school board with various backgrounds. I think it's important. We have some business backgrounds on our board. We have some education backgrounds on our board. And I think having a mix between all those is very important. I think when you do that, you get a variety of ideas. You get a variety of voices. And sometimes there's things that maybe an educator may think of that I haven't thought of, and sometimes there's things that I think of that maybe an educator hasn't thought of. So I think having a good balance on the board is very good to have, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary to be in education to be on the school board.
To answer the question, basically I agree with Mr. Delano. I don't think it's essential, but I do think it's an added benefit because being an educator, you know the inner workings of the school district. You know what the needs of the students are because you are the ones actually interacting with them on a day-to-day basis. There's different levels between an administrator and a teacher. Teachers spend the majority of the day with those majority of the days with those students, whereas an administrator doesn't. And I think that you have a different perspective if you've not been in education. Fortunately, Mr. Lano is very proactive where he does research. He does ask other educators' opinions. So I think that he's more well-informed than most people that are not with an education background. But I think, like I said, it is an added benefit because basically no one knows what it is to walk in our shoes other than a teacher, but the fact that he does research, I think that helps out. I think that's one of the reasons why no one's running against him as well, is that he's done such a great job.
I think that you don't have to be an educator. Your first parent, your parents are your first educators. We have to get that straight. I said in the introduction, you have to get the parents involved. Your parents are your first educator. I'm aware that 63% of our kids are raised out of single parents household. To answer the question, you need a mixture of the community. Central Texas has every walk of life in this community. And when you say education, you have to specifically say what kind of education. Is it public school education? I research everything. I know just about whatever going on in the school district. I talk to school board members. I talk to different administrators at different levels. I know all those little school codes. My wife was a school teacher. Communication, relationship. That's what you need on the school board.
I think we do need a variety of voices, perspectives, educational levels, and skill sets on the board. And that's why you need to look at what's already on the board as you make your decision. We certainly do not need another retired principal at this point because we don't have a parent, and that voice is one that is absolutely necessary to have on that board. In addition to that, in terms of my background with education, I have served at the K through 12 level, working at a university, but working to ensure that we were partnering with K through 12 organizations to ensure that those students were properly prepared to get into the school system. I've also worked with youth empowerment camps and other programs geared at youth to ensure, again, that we're giving them what they need. I think that when you look at the board, you want someone who brings a variety of skill sets, and that's what I bring. I have that educational background. I have 4 degrees, including a master's and a Juris Doctorate. I've worked with students. I have the business background, and I have the legal background. And all of those skill sets together, I think, will help me in properly serving our district.
I was kind of thinking a retired principal was a pretty good idea. May I speak? Would you mind? Thank you. I think one of the important things, and it goes back to No Child Left Behind, past 16 years ago, which really should be said, no child gets ahead. When politicians decided they would make educational decisions, just because there are a bunch of politicians in the room doesn't mean those decisions are good or they're bad, but they were unbalanced. And I think to continue to be of service in KISD, you're going to need a balance. But I see principals, if I'm having brain surgery, I sure want as many brain surgeons in that room as I can get to have that successful operation. Thank you.